Across the diverse lands, our spirits soar. With the power of unity, we roar. The clash of the titans on this sacred ground, where every champion's fate is found. In the heat of battle, our resolve is tested. With every victory, our legacy is vested. We return from the court, stronger than before. Together we open victory's door. This is where legends are born, under the Asian sky. With every serve and return, we aim higher and fly. In the arena of titans, we set our own mark. We are the Asian Federation, igniting the spark. In the silence of the night, our dreams catch fire. Together we reach for the unseen, climbing higher. In the echo of our will, in the strength of our hearts, we find the power to make a new start. This is where legends are born, under the Asian sky. Bound by passion, driven by dreams. In every heartbeat, our spirit screams. We rise through the challenge, we break through the pain. In the silence, our will remains. This is where legends are born, under the Asian sky. With every serve and return, we aim higher and fly. In the arena of titans, we set our own mark. We are the Asian Federation, igniting tennis spark. Across the diverse lands, our spirits soar. With the power of unity, we roar. The clash of the titans on this sacred ground, where every champion's fate is found. In the heat of battle, our resolve is tested. With every victory, our legacy is vested. We return from the court, stronger than before. Together we open victory's door. This is where legends are born, under the Asian sky. With every serve and return, we aim higher and fly. In the arena of titans.
Glenn, everyone. Take your seats, please. Up next, we have the founder of Specs, Darya Menishi, a very established strength and conditioning specialist who has consulted for academies of players like Ernest Gulbis and Rohan Bopanna to talk about developing decision-making skills in elite juniors. Please, let's have a warm round of applause for Darya.
Hi.
Warmer.
Hello? Yeah? Everybody had a good coffee break? Yeah? The hot dog was good? Good. I'm gonna let you settle, and then we're gonna start. First of all, thanks a lot for having me here. It's a real pleasure, and thank you all for showing up today. I hope that with all of us, with the whole team, we can deliver some practical information and also maybe some theoretical framework that you can use in your practice. So today I would like to talk about how instead of what. I believe that most of you know a lot of drills. You most likely have even a library. You maybe have something written out. You know a lot about tactics, but a lot of times it's about the delivery instead of the content. And as coaches, we don't really have ranking systems. So we don't really have a way to evaluate if the coach is effective. But I do believe that we all would recognize one if we saw them in front of us. So the effective coach usually has players that wins matches, right? That's the first thing. Then they usually have a good trusting relationship, the athlete and the coach. And they develop age appropriately, and they develop holistically, which means that we develop all of the aspects of the player: technical, tactical, and mental. Now, traditionally, we would think a good coach is going to praise a good shot, they're going to scold a bad behavior, a bad execution, and they're going to be very extensive on their instructions. Now, I would like us to take a second, and the ones of you who have something to write on, look at those topics: instructions, questioning, monitoring, managing, and write out in percentage how much in your tennis practice do you think you spent on each of those behaviors. Just write a piece of paper and write it out. Do you think you instruct altogether pre-exercise, post-exercise, during exercise? Do you instruct all the time? Do you instruct 90% of the time, or maybe it's only 10? A little note: silence is very important. So how much time do we spend silently observing? I'm hoping all of you already had something written out. Now, there was a study by David Claxton on more and less successful high school tennis coaches and on their behaviors. And few interesting takeouts that they found: that successful coaches asked twice more often questions of their players. Twice less often did they praise them, so they were not giving constantly positive feedback, and they remained silent 13% of their practice, which is quite impressive. Now, of course, it's going to differ, because you have to be adaptable as a coach, right? You're going to adapt to your players, to their levels, if they're in a group or if they're in the individual session, how their personality is, right? It's not going to be all the same. The weather will change. But once I had to give a 3-hour session to 12 kids of green ball that were playing with green ball, and I had absolutely no voice. So probably in that session, my ratio of silence and instruction was slightly different, because voice was not there. Now, according to the kids, that was one of the best sessions. Maybe because the music was blasting in the background the whole training, that's new, but maybe because our instruction is more than just the words we're saying. Our instructions is our behavior, our facial expressions, our body language, our management on the court, the choices of the drills. That is all communication. Now, there's a lot of tools that you can use as a coach to observe your behavior. That study used one of them. I'm going to refer to some literature and some other case studies that also use those other tools, so you can look into it. But if you would like to know for yourself how you can observe your practice, how you can observe your behaviors, you can come to me, and I'm happy to share of what you can apply in your own practice. These are some of the stats. They're maybe slightly small for you to see from there, but this was the outcome of the study. Now let's step away from tennis for a second, and let's look at basketball. Some of you might recognize the man on the picture. It's Coach Wooden, and he's considered probably one of the greatest NCAA coaches of all times. And between 1974 and 1975, 2 scientists and 2 coaches conducted an observational study on them. So they looked at how he was coaching. And there's a few interesting things that come out of this. First of all, the intensity and the design of the training. He kept 3x5 cards with every minute laid out of the practice. Now, that gives as a coach for you an advantage if you have everything designed and planned out way ahead of time to A, observe, and B, individualize your feedback. Especially important in a bigger setting. So he has a basketball team, 14 players. Some of you might be working with bigger groups. Now, every drill in practice was intended for a certain area of play. He wasn't only drilling, only developing shots. He was developing game situations in which the players are later on going to be. And because it was so efficient and documented for scientists, it was very easy to quote him. It was very easy to read him because he was very clear in where he was going. His philosophy was positive approach does not mean empty praise, it means corrective information. Now, most of his players report that they did not see his feedback as a personal offense because it was always so intended to improve their game that it was never meant personal. Now, a little bit of statistics and data. 50.3% were specific instructions on how to do things and what to do. Now, if you look back at what you wrote, how much time do you spend instructing your players out of the whole practice? Praise and scolding, so positive and negative things about the players and about their performance and about their behaviors constituted only 7% altogether. And 75% of all of his interactions were informative. Now, another interesting thing to look at, that he treated players differently. And I think that's very important for us as tennis coaches to recognize. So his regular players that always played in the same team in the same setting received the ratio of scold and praise 50-50. He was just equally fair to both of them. Now, the reservist players, the ones that never played matches, received 70 to 30% scold and praise ratio. So 70% of the times they got positive feedback. He justified it with the fact that the regular players that performed, they knew they were good. They were on court, they were scoring, they had people coming watching them. They didn't need the external confirmation from the coach. Now think about your players. Which of your players needs praise? And which of your players might be already getting plenty of it? Now, we're getting closer to tennis context again. And what I would like to look into is the training design, right? How we design practices. And traditionally, we use what is called the reproductive style of teaching. So we tell the player, this is how I want you to hit the shot. I show the player how I want them to stand. And then they are supposed to be reproducing. So a lot of emphasis is on giving the right answer and on trying to correct them to the optimal technique. Now, alternatively to that, we have a constraint, or alternatively, as another approach to contemporary coaching, there is something we call economical teaching, and constraint-led approach is one part of it. It's one thing. Now, let's first look at the limitation of traditional training design. A lot of times it lacks the transfer from the drill, from the hand-fed, racket-fed basket drill, to the actual scenario. I'm not saying we shouldn't be doing those things. It's important to recognize when we're working technically on certain small aspects and when we're actually trying to prepare the player for play. Now, we need to recognize that outside of instructions, coaches are managers, right? We had that in the first slide as well. We plan, we organize, and we deliver practices so that we can deliver the learning objectives so that the players can learn, right? And primarily, management factor is managing the environment. I am going to be responsible right now with two of my players to create the environment in which they will learn. And in the context of traditional training design, if I'm only focusing on the drills from the basket and I'm not creating the environment where they can learn, I'm limiting their decision making. I'm taking away from them the possibility to decide what to do next. Another thing, because I'm talking about the context of junior players, I myself work mostly with players up until under 14. Motivation is a very important factor as well. They get bored if it's repetitive. They question you. Maybe they even criticize you. They want to be involved in how their development is going forward. Um, I am sure that every one of you has had once, or maybe more than once, a very hardworking player. Executes every single drill at high intensity. They understand what you're saying. They're very motivated. They're very eager, and you know they can perform. And then they play a match. And you want to go, come on, turn on your brain. Come on, we have practiced this so many times. Just do it, right? And it gets frustrating. It gets incredibly frustrating because you have put all of that work in that player. Now you send them off on the court and you expect them to play and they freeze, right? Either the timing is not right or they're just all stressed and under pressure, right? So it's very, very tempting to say at that moment, yeah, I did everything. We did great sessions, they performed great in the training, now it's their responsibility to implement it. But what if we got a little bit more critical towards our own practices and thought, did I ever put them in any close situation to this match in my practice? Did they really ever practice performance context, or was it always only isolated, only closed? And that's where I would like to invite you to look at Sinner and think a few things. Every single shot is different. Every single shot is on the move, right? Tennis is an open skill sport. So we always need to be adaptive. We always, as a player, need to be making decisions. It cannot be taken out of the context. We're not throwing discs, right? It's not every single time the same. Now, out of your own reflection, how do you train juniors to think and to adapt and not just repeat and not just train? Lately, there has been a few presentations. Jonathan presented last year in Vietnam on constraint-led approach. In Vilnius and World Coaches Conferences, there was Rafael that was presenting on that context as well. But because I specialize in integrated physical training, I would like to look at this right now from the perspective of physical training and how we can integrate, how you as tennis coaches can integrate that part in your practices. So, constraint-led approach. Let's first set things straight. What is what? I suggest, instead of giving your players solutions, let's start creating problems. And what I mean by that is when we create that environment in which they can learn, they're the ones that should be looking for solutions. Of course, as a coach, I have a goal end in mind. I am going to try to lead them. I'm not just going to throw the problem at them and leave them, but I'm going to try to lead them to the solution through creating a problem. Now, constraint-led approach means that we can manipulate three things: a task, individual constraint, and environmental. Now, individual is out of the picture right away because that means how tall, how heavy, how fast your player is. So that, as a coach, I cannot manipulate unless I put them on a diet. Task is something that I will be focusing on. And task doesn't only mean a drill, it means taking away their equipment, taking away the racket and introducing something else. It means making the time constraint, creating a time constraint, or creating a space constraint, so I'm letting them play in the smaller or in a bigger field. And environment is basically weather. So I have an environmental constraint today because it's much warmer. Yesterday when I was leaving from Latvia, it was snowing. So that is my constraint for today. That is something we need to consider. So your player might be practicing on the hard court here, and they're going to go to Thailand to play a tournament there, and the court is going to be different. And that will be an environmental constraint. So instead of saying, suck it up, you know, just play on a different court, there is ways how to think of how to help them adapt to those situations. I will ask my players, Erin, Lily, you can come on court now. Let's give a warm welcome to the players. We couldn't be doing coaching without them. You can come on court, guys. So we're going to try and integrate right now something with the basketball and then with the tennis racket. Erin, you can go to the other side. You can start playing a rally with the basketball, like forehand and backhand from both sides. Don't move her too much yet. Just try to get used to the bounce and how you're going to turn to the ball. Yeah, let's get it started. So there is a few things. You can go. You can go. I'm going to continue talking. You can go. So there is a few things that make constraint-led approach much more effective in how we learn skills. First of all, it builds the match real performance context. What we mean by that is when we allow players to play with certain constraint, we put them in a situation when they're starting to look for solutions. They have a player that is going to push them back, that is going to play a lot of heavy, deep balls to the baseline, and they will need to try and find a solution out of that. Now, as close as we can get in the practice is that. Another thing is it also builds what we call perception and action coupling, so I see, I respond. And most importantly, what we're talking about today, I want to relay the decision-making over to them. I want to stop deciding for them what I'm going to tell them to do or what I'm going to propose as a solution, and I want to see how creative they're going to get. Now, very important in this context is that is the real way of building confidence. Because the player, when he's finding solution the first and the second and the third time, they realize that they know how to find their way out. And tennis is basically all the time about finding your way out of a problem. So the first drill that we're going to look at is players going to play a cross-court rally. Thank you. Don't forget to recover back to the middle. And yeah, you can continue playing. Now, Erin, I'm going to ask you to start attacking. Whatever you're going to understand under that, you can start. Yeah. Let's bring up the intensity. Now, as I observe them play, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. That's something that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. I already see some technical limitations in how they throw the ball because they're mimicking forehand right now. And I see that the ball is not coming all the way down from the hip. So I'm limited in my rotation and how far I'm going to go. We're going to talk about this more tomorrow, but that is something that silence and observation gives me. I get to see what we're going to need to work on. Erin, a little bit more intensity in attack. I want you to really score. I really want you to push him out of there. Okay, so we see that Erin is attacking through trying to move the player more outwards, right? Now, it is assumed that if she's attacking, he's most likely going to be defending and trying to find a way how to take it over. So I will ask you to continue cross-court rally right now, but you need to change height, how high the ball is going to go, okay? Let's continue. So, observation. There is a few questions that you can ask yourself while you're looking and what you're looking on. If we're talking of decision making, of course I want to see now that the balls are going higher, what Erin is going to do. How is she going to adapt to the situation that the balls are coming more high, that makes her move more backwards? It gives her more time, but it's quite very hard to go and throw the ball from all the way out there. Okay, perfect. And now we're going to take a racket. So Aaron and Phil, I'm going to ask you to grab a tennis racket, and we're going to go all the way to the baseline. You okay? Okay. First, we're going in the cross-court rally, forehand. Aaron, it's your turn to change heights. Let's go. We're going with rather simple drills right now. So we're looking at only one constraint at a time. It's possible, of course, to make it more difficult or to put multiple constraints at the same time, but both for you to be able to observe and read off information from there, and also to ensure that it's high quality of the rally, I would suggest to stick with one thing at the time, at least at first. Heavy balls all the way to the back. Heavy balls all the way to the back. Okay, stop. Now, I am interested right now in Phil because on the other side, there was the assignment, and he's the one under constraint. So how did you adapt to the higher balls?
I moved back.
You moved back, did you? All the time? Quite a lot of...
Not all the time. I
Yeah.
hit it on the right.
Sometimes you hit it on the rise. Okay, maybe I don't want to go much further in this. I just want to know if he knows what he's doing, right? Now, you're going to be attacking. And I want you to be attacking the whole time. Okay? Let's go. Go. Having a hard time attacking now, huh, if she's going so high and back. Nope. Sorry. So what do you think about the quality of those rallies? Is it good? Is it okay? Is it bad? Please communicate. Pretty good. I agree with you. It's pretty good. So how do we get to this point that it's so very good? We build it out, right? We let her first get into the zone, whatever we understand under that. And then we introduce and we sequence things, right? We put from easier to harder, and we push them into position where it becomes already natural and easy to think, okay, oh, he's attacking. I'm going to push him back. I'm going to push him back. So were you able to attack the way you wanted?
Not really.
Not really. Why not?
Because she was pushing me back.
She was pushing you back, yeah. When did you get to the point when you could attack?
When I was near the baseline.
When you were getting closer to the baseline and stepping in the court.
Yeah.
So how did you get yourself in that position?
By moving her back. Moving her back and attacking.
Okay. So if you had to observe my training practice right now and my design, how many instructions did I give, percentage-wise? Very little. 2-3 times. I just told them where we're going to go, and maybe once I just hustled them a little bit, like encouraged them a little bit. That's it. But I'm asking questions. That's the way they're going to start thinking. And sometimes you will have a problem. I don't have a problem with Phil right now here. Sometimes you're going to have a problem that you're going to ask players something, and they're going to go, I don't know. Or, I guess it was good. But it's okay. You keep pushing. You keep going for the answer. And as he's giving you already good suggestions, that's your cue as a coach to start introducing important things that you want him to know. So He said, I was moving closer into the court in order to attack for that ball. You're like, great. So now we can zone out. Which zone for you is going to be neutral? Which zone where you stand in the court is going to be defending? Which zone is going to be attacking? I'm sure you all know that, right? But that creates for you as a coach a possibility to further how deep they're going to analyze themselves and how far they're going to go in understanding. Now, let's put the rackets for a second to the side, and let's take a basketball again. Yeah, you can leave it just somewhere here close. Basketball, yeah? Okay, Erin, I'm going to ask you to shadow the serve without the racket, without the ball, just really the movement. And the moment she's landing, okay, so the moment she goes, pa, here, you're going to feed the ball, okay? You can feed it wherever you want. You just go. Your task is the moment you're landing, you know the ball is going to be coming, make a step back and get ready to respond where the ball is going to go. Okay, let's give it a try. I love basketball for kids, for adults, for whatever level of play you have, because it takes away a very difficult technicality of tennis, of matching time and space, right, of hitting that small fluffy ball with your racket, and it allows the player to focus on their positioning, on their decisions, on their rotations, on, you know, the transfers of the weight. You will see, if you start introducing this in your practice, you will see they will start moving better. Not because basketball has some magic, but just because it's easier, it's simpler. It's still sort of tennis, it's basketball tennis, but it's not as technically difficult. Okay, let's move the ball to the other side. Let's do this one more time again, but without playing a rally. So you're mimicking the serve. Yeah, let's do it. And you're feeding the ball. Let's go. Proper serve next time, please. Stop. Let's not play the rally. One more time. Only return. Good. And respond. Stop. And again. Serve. One more time. Put a little bit more pressure on him. Okay. Is there any decision making right now? Anyone? No? Yes? Barely. Yes? Why? Who was that? Yeah, why? Good. She's deciding on something. She sees him land, and she's deciding on something. Now, I want them both to be thinking. So, let's return the ball one more time. Okay. The moment you land, Phil, you're going to tell us where you were aiming to serve. Okay? So, you will tell us wide, body, or tee. Okay? So, we're going on the first. Now, Erin, you can go a little bit closer in the court. And depending on where he's going to say he's going to serve, you're going to have to move into that zone and respond with the ball. So he's going to be serving, shadow serving, into the deuce side, okay? And the moment he lands, he's going to tell you where you need to go. Okay? Yeah. And you will throw the ball. Okay. Let's give it a try. Up, wide there. Okay. And then we can play out the point. Let's give the ball back. Let's see the points now. Okay, he serves and play. She decides to go middle, it puts us in this certain scenario, right? Okay. Nice rallies, I like them. Okay, now, because we're limited on time, we're gonna grab a racket and we're gonna see how is this gonna work in actual tennis situation. Hustle, hustle, let's go. Let's go. Okay, ideas is exactly the same, except Erin, you're gonna be moving on the baseline, you're not gonna come in anymore. So, the ball. Hold it. Thank you. Serve. Tell us where you're gonna serve. You feed the ball depending on where the serve is coming. Let's go. Nice. Sorry. Okay, so if you serve wide, she might choose for short cross court. Of course, we're taking out the factor of return, right? It's not the same. She's feeding from the hand, of course. But we need to realize that we cannot always be training everything, right? So we need to prioritize. Right now, I want them thinking. I don't want her to be worried about the technique so much. I want her to think. And I want him to start anticipating where the ball is going to come back. Okay, let's do it one more time. Ball? Oh, you have ball. Okay, one more time. Ball. I like that she's still moving. You know, that's important. Yes. Last ball. All right. Thank you so much. These were the observations that we were making. We're finished, thanks. These were the observations that we tried to do, you know, after we gave the explanations. We were looking at decisions the players were making. We were looking if they were adjusting anything. And we were asking them questions to see if they're going to introduce any self-corrections, if they're going to do something from themselves. Now, a few things that I would like us to summarize here is that when we teach tennis, we teach a game, okay? It's not about how well my player is going to repeat the same shot from the same basket, from the same court, from the same coach feeding him. It's about how they're going to find solutions playing different players in different countries, in different environments. Constraint-led approach is not something that substitutes everything else that we know, okay? It's a way to add diversity to your practices. It's a way to shift from me giving them solution or you giving them solution to putting them in an environment where they're going to be looking for the solution. It's more player-centered, and it should be more player-centered. And effective coaching, it's not only about talking, okay? Effective coaching is about management, it's about adaptability to the player, and most importantly, it's about how we put the player in that situation where they can develop. And I wonder if there is anything you will take with you for your practices next week. Let me know if it's stimulated any ideas. If you would like to connect with me, there is QR codes that you can scan. I'm more than happy, you know, to talk to more of you and to take more pictures. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Daria. I particularly loved what you said about problem solving creates confidence. I love that.
Thank you.
Once again, we had, I think, a very transferable session, something that the coaches could take back with them. We won't open up for the Q&A right now because we want to start with Jonathan. But do remember that we have a panel at the end of the workshop, and you can ask all your questions then. Thank you so much. All right, up next, we've got Mr. Jonathan Stubbs, who I'm sure most of you know. He's the ITF Development Officer for South, South Asia, and Southeast Asia, and East Asia. He's a CHP certified ITF coach and a CAP tutor. He's conducted several ITF certification coaches, development events, and he's traveled with players and teams around the world. So let's give a very warm welcome to Jonathan as he talks about constraint-led development of the serve and return.
Can everyone hear me? Oh, you're so loud. I think it's a little bit loud. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's a pleasure to be here. I should say, first of all, thank you to the Asian Tennis Federation for the invitation to speak. It's always an honor. And also to PHILTA for doing an absolutely incredible job. Martin, I don't know how you did this. If you guys know this place, who are the Filipinos here? Hands up if you know this court, right? It looks different. Incredible. Amazing. So it's a real pleasure to be here. And I'm going to talk today a little bit on a similar topic to Daria, but I'm going to do a few more drills on the court. So the goal today is to show you some drills. Let's see if the clicker works. Okay. So let's start. I think Daria covered this a little bit, but I'll expand just a bit. What are the kind of questions that we ask when we work with a player? Pretty simple. What is the problem that needs to be solved? What is the intention? What are we trying to do? And how can it be solved in the most effective way by the player? Okay, and that's the definition that we're going to come across in a minute. I also wanted to say that I can see two former players that I work with, two female players that I work with, attending this conference, and now I know that you're not here because of me, because I coached you. And for sure, you don't want to be coached by me ever again. Okay, so these are the two things that we're going to start with, and this is going to be our kind of guiding light today with the drills we're going to do. And Daria covered this a little bit with the traditional method versus the constraint-led method, which is a kind of a new thing. And we'll do a quick test. I'd like everybody to stand up. Everybody stand up. Come on, I know you're getting hungry. Soon you're going to have to go for lunch. I'm only here for 35 minutes. And I want you to talk to the person next to you and just have a quick conversation about what you think traditional methods is and what you think constraint-led approach is. Just take a minute. You guys come and hit some serves because you need to warm up a little. Just take a minute or two to discuss. These guys need to warm up for the serve. Have a chat with the person next to you, unless your name's Amir Bourguet. Probably you know this already. But why not? Have a chat. Talk with the person next to you. What is your idea of traditional? What is your idea of constraint-led? They need to warm up. Okay, take 30 seconds more. Tell me when you're ready. You ready? Okay. So, can I just get a little, you can relax again, have a seat again. Can't keep you standing up for too long. Any comment, any quick comment? What is the traditional coaching? Anybody want to shout something out? Coaches? Okay. All right. Let's imagine. Okay, we're going to start with this player here. Russell and Gian, all right? Gian or Gian? Gian, okay. Let's start. Russell, can you come over here? And let's imagine that I know this player very well. And he has said to me, Jonathan, I'm getting attacked on my second serve quite a lot. I want to try and be able to neutralize a little bit the receiver with my second serve. So I can come to him and say, okay, Russell, all right, here's a couple of balls. Okay, let's see if serve. Come on, serve. Hit a kick serve. See how you can neutralize. Let's get the leg up. Yeah, perfect. Can we get the shoulder up a little bit more when you hit the serve? Okay, shoulder up a little bit more. Shoulder up. Man, can we not get it bounce a little bit hard? Let's drive the leg a little bit more, okay? And then let's speed up a little bit with the racket head through the ball. Oh, okay, that's a little bit far. Let's try another one. Come on. Let's get those legs up. Yep. Shoulder up. Thank you. What kind of approach would that be? Traditional. There's no real connection between the player and the receiver. So let's have a quick look at the constraint-led approach. Daria did cover this, and my task today is not to go through this in any depth. It's just to have a quick overview. Task constraint, Daria covered. It's the task that you have in front of you. In this case, the player wants to be able to neutralize the return a little bit. Environmental constraints, one Daria didn't mention is environmental constraint can also include sound. So you could, for example, make lots of noise, and that could affect the player. And individual constraint also it's functional as well. So it also includes emotions or motivation. So that could be affected. I just created a cheat sheet because you're going to get this later. You'll get this your presentation, so you can take this home. I don't want to go into in any depth, but you'll see these terms a lot when you get into this topic. It's a very deep topic. So constraint-led approach is trying to create environments where players learn by doing. Okay, very simply. Plain English. Non-linear pedagogy. Dynamic approach. It also assumes that development will not happen in a straight line. Like, I'll get a bit better tomorrow, then the day after that I'll get a little bit better. It doesn't work like that. People get better, and then they get bad. It's a bit up and down. Ecological dynamics is a very deep topic, can't get into here. But it's about designing environments. Next one, perception-action coupling. Very important. What it basically means is, I see something, and then I have to do something. Okay? If I don't see it, I can't make a decision or an action. So the two have to be coupled, and we'll look at that in a minute. Affordances, you'll see this a lot. It basically means what I can do. What are my options? What possibilities do I have? And repetition without repetition is another one, which basically means tennis is a game where things are very different. We don't know what's happening, so we want to try and create some variability and instability because that's exactly what happens in the court. Okay, so let's now come back to our initial problem. Can we get the board out here? So let's say Russell. Let's try and see if we can do it with a little bit of a constraint approach. Russell, can you guys just go, actually, why don't you both go over there? And what I'd like you to try and do, we could do this with a line. You know, we have a regular court with nets or fences. You could just put a line up. We don't have that. So we're going to just use this whiteboard. And what I'd like you to do, Russell, is to see if you can hit the ball and get it to bounce over this target. Okay? Okay? Where do you want it to be? Yeah, is this okay, or you want it further back? Here? All right, let's take a couple of balls. We're just going to put it here. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to take it away, and then after that, the drills will be a little bit easier to see. Russell, you want to take a couple of balls over there? Let's see if Russell and Gian can perform the task. You can see on the right-hand side the types of constraints, whether it's a task one, individual, or the environment. Go ahead, Russell. Let's take a look, see how he does. He's a little bit too low. That passed about here. I think we'll move it back. He's still about here now. Do you want to change it? Shall I move it further back? Yeah? About here? This one okay for you? All right, let's try again. Let's see if you can do it. Okay. Gian, do you want to try? I think this is too high. We should adapt this, but we can't really connect it. I can't really show you this one without this target. well, we should probably change this, okay? All right, let's take this one away. All right, do you want to come back over, one of you, Russell, do you want to come back over here? Do you mind moving that thing? Do you mind moving that, that thing on the court? Yeah. One of you over here, Russell, do you want to come over here? Okay, so let's take it one step further. Let's take it one step a little bit further. Now, second task is, again, we're on the same situation we were looking for, where the player still wants to try to neutralize with the second serve. But now, we're going to set the challenge is going to be defined by the outcome. So the outcome, for example, is the server able to force the returner to hit from an uncomfortable height. What for you would be an uncomfortable height? Yeah? Up? So let's define that. So when you serve to him now, you're going to try and get it up to his shoulder height. Shoulder height. You're going to try and get the serve up to the shoulder height. Okay? All right, grab a few balls. Let's give behind. Okay. Here we go. Did he manage that time? Yeah? Was the return a little bit weaker? Okay. Let's try to do, we'll just do the serve and the return for now. Okay? Just one serve and one return. Do you want to change anything? Are you happy with this one? What are the other options he can have? What are the other options? I put a couple up there. Any other options he can have? He could force the player outside of the line. Okay. It could be back. No? Okay. Yeah. You have more of a slice serve than a kick serve, right? I picked the wrong one. This is a clay court one. It's okay. It's fine. There we go. That's a good one. What height was this? Here? Yeah? Okay. Can we continue? Can you continue the point? Can you do the serve, the return, and then add one ground stroke? Okay? Now let's see if we can get a little bit of perception-action coupling. You can't hear me. This is out. Let's try it again. Okay, would you say that was relatively successful? Oh, you missed the return. So I think is this okay, or can you hear? Okay. So what happened on this return? Where was the height of the contact? Was it shoulder height? And what happened? Out. How much coaching did I do? Daria mentioned this. How much coaching have I done? You remember my initial intervention? I did a lot of coaching, right? I gave a lot of the typical way that we do. We feel like we need to coach. But we can also change it. We can just create an environment where the player has to solve the problem. You see that this problem, Russell probably doesn't have a really strong kick serve. Maybe he's playing on a fast court, doesn't need it. But straight away, he's been able to do it relatively quickly. And I think that's quite impressive. Okay, so this is one. So let's go to the third one. Now, we're extending it just a little bit further now. We had now a conditional scoring game, so now it becomes more like a real point. We're going to continue the point, Russell, Kian. We're going to play the point, and you can both serve. Okay, so maybe like two each. You've only got second serve though. Okay, you've only got one serve. If the server stays in the point for more than 4 shots, they win straight away. Okay, so let's see them play a few and see how they do. Okay, that seemed to be effective. Do you want to serve 2 each? Serve 2, and then we change for you again. Okay, did you notice what happened on this serve? What was the response? So straight away, he should hopefully start to see some opportunities. And if we had a longer session than 10 minutes, we could explore that. We could add to this constraint. We could say, which we'll do later, maybe you try and finish the point within 3 shots. So he's forcing to discover a way to be more aggressive. Okay? All right, Gian, want to try? Is it out? Okay, then on this side. Gian? Gian? Let's change side. All right, change. 2 serves for you. Yep. We could, of course, add points. Did he get the ball up to the height? Not really. Okay, so maybe that's something we can explore. Or he could try to get the player out or the player back. It's up to him. It's not for me to decide, it's for him to decide, because he's the one that's got the problem. I'm not playing. He's playing. He's got to figure this out. Second serve. He's very careful players, aren't they? They're like very safe. Huh? I would like to see a little bit more aggression. I think Nandan this morning I was over there, I heard him shouting. What did you say? He said, go for it, like this morning he was shouting. When the player with the first drill hit it or blitz it or something. A little bit passive. Yeah? I would like to see a little more aggression. Okay, so we've seen that first one, the first task. Now let's switch to more of a receiving one. Okay? And this one, again, is a very simple one. Let's have the first serve. So you can hit any serve. Wide, T, body, completely up to you. And the receiver, in this case Russell, has to call it. So when the ball is up in the air, he has to call where it's going. And if you can hear him, you can change the serve if you want. Okay? This is going to work on his perceptual elements. Okay? Is he able to read? Okay, let's give it a try. Yep. Okay, so as he tosses, you call where he's going to serve. Okay? Okay, you can just do those two. He said wide. Where did the serve go? Where did the serve go? Body, okay. Do you want to serve here? Want to have 2 serves each? Did he say anything? He said, can you say it louder so we can hear you? Yeah, a little louder, okay? Can you serve one more? I think he cheated. I don't think he said anything. Let's give it one more try. Come on, Gian. Louder, Russell. He said T. Let's see how Russell does. Okay, you call it now, okay? Gian? Okay? As the toss is at the top, call it. Loud. He said T? Did he say T? Hey. So far, it's like 0 and 7, right? Low success rate. Was it wide? Yeah? So he's got 1? Okay, they want to buy you an ice cream later. All right, we'll give you, now if you get 2 in a row, he has to buy the ice cream. Okay? Let's see if you can get 2 in a row. No, you lose the ice cream. All right, Gian, you can serve 2 more and then we'll change drill. Gian, you serve 2 more? Okay, over here, Russell. Nice and loud. No, you said it too early. He said it before he'd even started. That's too early. I wouldn't accept this one because it's just a guess. And we're not interested in guessing. We're interested in reading cues. I put there on the board kinematic cues, so you could look, for example, at the shape of the body. Look where the toss is. Can he read anything from that? Let's give him one more try, and then we'll move on. Did you go? No, let's try again, because it hit the net. One more, come over. Yeah, so they can hear you. It's body? He said why, but it was body, right? Body? I think that's body, no? Did you call that body? I put another option up here, because sometimes when you're working on leg drive, right, so you're trying to get up and hit the ball with a little bit more power, we sometimes bring the player inside the court, because to get inside the box, you have to impact a little higher, so it helps you to work a little bit on your leg drive. But you could also adapt it here to put more pressure on the receiver. So if the receiver is doing a good job, maybe we can add a little bit of difficulty. I'll leave that one because I don't know these players so well. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, so who wants to return? Because we're going to put some lines on the court. This one you have to say you have to call where your return is going to go. Okay, why don't I put the lines here? Let's grab some lines. Can I grab these lines? Okay, so let's set it up. Do you want to just come to the net? Because it's... Come to the net. Can you come to the net? So let me just set up the drill. Sorry, I put the clicker in my pocket. Okay, so because I'm going to set up lines, it's a bit easier if I do it on one side of the court. So you have to call the return. So what that means is that the server can serve anywhere. So, example, you might want to go cross court, you might want to go in the middle or down the line, or you might want to go for depth. Okay? So I'm going to mark them, and the server can change. So what this is going to be working on for the player is the ability to return to different places with variable serves. Okay? Maybe a player won't decide where he or she wants to return, but they should be able to adapt. Okay, so this forces the player to do that. So we'll make a couple of quick zones. Is this okay for down the line? Yeah? Are you okay with that? This is deep is here is okay? Yeah? This is the depth one. And the cross court, where do you want it? Yeah? Are you happy with that? Every time we do courses, certification courses, we always cover this topic. Who should decide on where the markers go? Oh, drop shot. Sorry. He says, hey, he's picking for you. You okay? Here or there? Here? Okay. Okay, no problem. All right, whatever you guys want. All right. Okay, so you have to call it. Okay? All right? Same thing as when he's tossing. Okay? Let's give it a try. Let's do a serve, return, and +1. Okay? What did you say? No, what did you say? You were depth. Can you say louder? Because it can't hear you very well. So serve to this side, Chief? Oh, shit, no, let's go same side. Yeah, that's it. Serve, return, +1. Yeah? Or we can continue the point. What did he say, that one? Can't hear him, right? Okay. Can you say it a little bit earlier so he has a chance to change his serve? Okay? So example, now he's got to think a bit. If you're about to serve and he says cross, what serve would give him more difficulty? Backhand? He says backhand. Do you agree? For depth, which one would be more difficult? If he chooses depth, which one would be more difficult for him? Come on, guys. You're all tactical. Body. So it says body. And for a down the line one, which one would be difficult? Wide. What about a T? Flat serve T? Okay, let's try. So can you call it a bit earlier? Call it early, so he can change his serve if he wants. Out. Next one. Is it difficult? You want to try from that side? Yeah, you can try from that side. He didn't pick the drop shot yet. Let's see if he does it off a first serve. Did you say down the line? Okay. Well, he got it down. He did hit it down the line. Unfortunately, it was out. 5 minutes. No, it's 10 more minutes. 10. 10. Yep. Last couple. I have 3 more drills. What did he say? Cross. How would you rate the success of the players? Oh, different question. Do you think it's a good exercise? Okay. Do you think these players have ever done this? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I think they should, because this will help them a lot. How much am I coaching? I would definitely, with these players, in real life, I would change this a little bit. I might stick with this one, but I would definitely, you can make it a little bit easier, or you can make it a bit harder. It depends on the success, because you want the player to be motivated, but the player needs to find the solution. So you've got to get that balance between giving the player a chance to find the solution, which they should, it's their job, and maybe changing the environment a little bit to make it, the stepping stone, a bit easier. Okay, let's go for the next one. This one, I'm not going to do. Okay, let's try and pick a server. Can you serve from that side, because it's a little bit easier. Your task, you're going to play the points. Okay, you're going to serve and play the point. But your task is to see if you can move the receiver to a defined area, which I've done there with my amazingly beautiful graph. You see those beautiful red lines. I've even made them dashed, so they're very easy to follow. And this is an important question. Why don't I just say, hit the serve to here if you're going wide? I could say this to the guy. I could say, hey, buddy, I want you to serve here. And I want you to serve here for the tee. Why is my focus on where the receiver is instead of the target on the court? Because we all do this one, right? And tell the truth. Tell the truth. You do, like this. But what's more important is where the receiver is. Do you think about it? I saw something last week that really caught my eye. Daria mentioned Sinner. She had a good video of Sinner. Sinner last week when he played the Masters, I think he won 16 points in a row with his serve. I think it was against the Canadian guy, what's his name? Ogo Aliasim. Yeah? 16 points in a row. And I watched the video. And what I saw in the video, the guy is out of the court every single return. So it wasn't the placement of the, yeah, sure it's the placement of the serve, but what was important is what he was able to do as a result of getting the opponent out of the court. So our objective here is to see if you can get your opponent outside. So you're going to define, in fact, we'll just take these away. You guys can see it, I think, right? You can take this away. That's fine. Because I have less time. Can I grab this one? You can decide, where do you want Russell to be? Okay, so is this success for you here? Or do you want to get him to on the outside? Up to the trams? Okay. So if you get it to the trams, he's successful, and maybe we can give him an extra point. What about for the tee serve? We'll mark it, okay? So if he gets it to here, it's success, and you define success as him going to here? Okay. Let's take a look. Okay, right. I have 2 more. Yeah, one up. Did he get him out yet? Not yet. Gian, do you want to change anything? No? You can also serve here, Gian. Let me set you up here. We'll do both sides. So if he plays the return from here, would you be happy? Okay. And for this side, same? Yep. Okay, Russell, do you want to come over here? Let's return serve from here. If you manage to get him on one of these side, you get 2 points. Did he manage? 2 points? I don't know if we should offer him a San Miguel beer or something. Maybe that'll motivate him. Would you like a beer, or would you like an ice cream, or what motivates you? I don't know you. You like beer? I don't know how old you are. Maybe I'm talking to a minor and making a big mistake, and I'm going to go to prison. I don't know. Okay. All right. So 2 points for you. Okay? All right, let's play. We'll play 3 points. 2 more. This one's quite a good one, actually. Even though it's not our task, but this is a good serve, actually, buddy. Let's try 2 more serves. Two points? Okay. Well done, Gian. I think he has a very good slice serve. Okay, I have 2 more. Let's give a server 2 first serves. Okay, only first serve. Russell, you want to serve now? You can take these out. And in this one, the receiver has to kind of defend against, hopefully, a strong serve. So this server is only going to strong first serves. Okay? And if the receiver manages to stay in the point for 4 shots, that's return plus 3. No, return plus 2. Let's make it return plus 2, that he can get an extra point. Yeah, carry on. Only first serve, Russell, huh? Big serve. Boom. In junior tennis, that's an ace. Come on, Russell, give it a bang. Come on, everyone's watching you. No pressure. Okay, it worked. Okay, that kind of worked. Didn't work for the receiver, though. The receiver has the task. Okay, you win the point, you win the point. Okay, interesting, he changed his return. Did you see that? He played a little safer and a little bit deeper. He went for depth. He neutralized the first serve, which is the objective of the exercise. All right, let's see one more. I now have one more, and I'm going to call it a day. Come on, let's see if we can get an ace. If you get an ace, you get 1,000 pesos. It's neutralized again. 1. Out. Yeah, if he did that in, he wins the point. Okay, I think I'm almost out of time, so let me just go for one last one. We can put time pressure on them as well. Okay, this one is good if you want your players to develop a little bit more intensity the way that they approach their points, because we're going to give the server, we're going to give you, Russell, we're going to give you 6 seconds. Does someone want to time 6 seconds? Someone be helpful? Chief? Okay, we're going to give the server 6 seconds from the time of the service hit. It's got to win the point. Okay? Okay, Chief? From the serve. All right? Yeah. I'll call it out loud, Rian. I'll just call it. I'll put pressure on the player. Ready? I'll call it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He went for the drop shot. Yeah. I think if I speak, it's more pressure for the player. So this is pretty good. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, you want some money or? Because they offered me to give you money if you do it. Okay, 2,000 pesos if you win the point within 6 seconds. Okay, how about that? You didn't call it out. Tennis, you have to say out. Okay. No call. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. He got nervous. You see that? Yeah. Did you notice he got nervous? Okay. All right, guys. Let's leave it here. It's just a quick session today. I would say my takeaways, I've just put them up on here, are pretty simple. Really, really try to avoid overcoaching because it's the worst thing you can do. Try and make the environment good. I would definitely, the player needs to solve the problem. If the player's not solving the problem and you're just giving instruction, they're not going to learn anything. Create the right environments. Environment is what creates the challenge. And you want to try and get them to explore. Come up with the solutions. And if it's enjoyable, I think you found this last year was quite enjoyable, they're probably going to be motivated and into it. And thank you very much.
Then, I love the part where you tell the coaches not to coach as a coach. I love that.
Sorry, what was that?
I love the part where you tell the coaches not to coach.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Less coaching.
Any questions?
No questions, so you can go straight to lunch? Everyone's hungry. Everyone's hungry. You've only got 1 hour to eat.
Yeah, I think that was quite self-explanatory. So we'll head for lunch, but I do need everybody back here at 1:35 because we'd like to start the next session, which is going to be very, very interesting. So back in an hour. Thank you.
It was either so clear or so unclear. That's why there was no questions. Thank you.
This is where legends are born, under the Asian sky. With every serve and return, we aim higher and fly. In the arena of titans, we set our own law. We are the Asian Federation, igniting tennis spark.
Yeah.
Across the diverse lands, our spirits soar.